Alright guys, how's it going? Just bringing you guys another video. This time it's going to be an unboxing video on the C&H Optic Promotion that was just happening last month with the purchase of a Walther PDP. I was very fortunate enough to get my hands on one. There you go. Just making sure it's not loaded. I didn't really know they had this promotion going on until I went into my local shop, and one of the guys there, he did briefly mention it before I even bought it. And frankly, I had forgotten about it until I had gotten C&H work done, or milling done, on a slide from a previous video, and that's kind of how I remembered. But anyways, I can make another video if you guys want more details on the build. But the real reason why I'm making this video is because of this bad boy. This here is the C&H Optic promotion that they had going on. Now, I've never had any C&H optics. There are a bunch of mixed reviews, so I guess the best thing to do is test it out for myself and see whether or not they're good optics. They do claim to be $325 optics, similar to the Inpoint. Is it Inpoint or the Acro? The processing time for this was fairly quick. I put in my request on the 22nd of December. They responded on the 26th. Can't really tell, but they did say it would be anywhere from 8 to 10 weeks for them to get it shipped to me. It arrived today, January 5th. So it took them about 10 days, 9 days. I did not take anywhere close to the 8 to 10 weeks they had said it would take, so that was awesome. Not having to wait for it. But here we go. This is the box. Reminds me of a Nike box. Looks like they crammed it in there because that's supposed to stay like that, but it goes up. But oh yeah, it looks like they did cram it in there. I wonder if this was like a used one. I don't think so. But let's. Whoa. Yeah, this might have been a used one, because everything's completely out of place, or they just didn't bother packaging it. But as you can tell, this was just sitting on top. So was this. There's an empty bag, which I'm not sure what that was for, but I think this had to go in here, and then all of this had to go in there, but whatever. It's a free optic, so I'm not complaining. In case you're curious, that's kind of the presentation. Now, right off the bat, I do see they included screws and the plate, which is freaking awesome, to be honest, because in case you don't know, when you do buy the Walther PDP, they do have a plate system. However, when you buy it, this is the plate system here. This is the C&H plate that I had to order separately. I paid for the C&H plate. Walther doesn't include a plate, which for that price tag, especially in California, I know these probably are cheaper in other states, Texas, Nevada. Here in California, for the price, I find that fairly ridiculous. Now, you can get a free one. However, you have to put in a request for them to ship one out for you. And you can choose between a Delta Point Pro footprint, RMR footprint, RMSC footprint. I don't know that it's a C&H plate. I don't know that it's maybe Walther's plate that they make it. Maybe C&H makes it for them, and it's really just a C&H with the Walther label. I don't know. The reason why I don't know is because when I went to request one, unfortunately, the new California AB 1260, I think it is, law kicked in and pretty much screwed everything up for us to get parts out here. And a lot of companies aren't just going to be shipping stuff to us anymore because they don't want to deal with the new laws requiring age verification and identification clearance, I guess you could say. So I think a lot of them are just not going to deal with that hassle, and it looks like Walther was one of those. Now, when I went to the website, it did say that they weren't currently shipping, that they were working on a way to get plates, or at least those requests out to us. Because it's considered a part for the firearm, they cannot ship it directly to us. They have to ship it to an FFL, which is absurd to me. But hey, that's California for you. But just something to keep in mind if you're gonna get the Walther PDP. It is gonna be it's optic plate cut. It's not optic cut, because when you buy this, you can't directly mount a optic to it without having a plate, and Walther doesn't include the plate. You have to go and either buy that separately or wait for them to figure out a way to get these out to California residents. Outside of California, I think for the most part you'll be okay, unless you're in New York. I think they probably have some crazy rule regarding sending parts to your house also. I wouldn't be surprised. I wasn't told by the salespeople at my shop where I got this that it wasn't going to be coming with an optic plate. I don't know that they know that, or they knew and refused to let me know. Regardless, that's not even on them. That's not their fault. Again, Walther, I think, should have included some sort of plate. I mean, even if it's some cheap plastic one, I think that's better over not including anything at all. And I think their train of thought was not everyone wants to use the same footprint, so why include one? Maybe have them call and send or request whatever plate they want to use. I get their thought process, but with this new law, it makes it a hassle for new gun owners to get that plate. So I just went ahead and bought mine. I did get it through Optics Planet. They were able to send it out before the law kicked in. But anyways, just my little 2-minute rant. Back to the dot. I'm not going to be mounting this on the Walther. I'll probably just keep the Olight. This has mixed reviews online, and some people say it's reliable, it's as good as an Acro. I don't think so. There's just too many not so good reviews out there, and I think that's what makes me not want to trust this. But what I will be doing with this and kind of putting it to the test is I am going to wait, why doesn't that turn on? Am I tripping? Oh, duh. Maybe because I gotta turn it on. There it is. You know, and I'm recording on a GoPro, so I noticed last video it has a hard time focusing, and because it's such a small screen, I don't know if it'll focus or not. But there it is. I thought this was a multi-reticle system, however I could be wrong. Yeah, I don't think it is a multi-reticle system. I think it's just a dot. Yeah, just a dot. It does come with the plate. That's nice to have in case in the future I do want to put a Acro. I'm going to assume it's the exact same footprint as the Acro. Now, I could be wrong, but it looks like it. It looks like it. So you get all these tools with it. What do we have here? I mean, honestly, it feels real nice. It does feel like a quality optic. Whether it is or it isn't, I'm not quite sure. But it definitely feels like it. It has all the tools. It has everything to get this mounted. I almost want to mount it, but I think I'll pass. And I'm just going to buy a Picatinny mount and put this on a Mossberg. I think if it holds up to the impact or the recoil of a Mossberg, then that's a good way of telling whether or not it'll be a reliable dot. Get some slugs through it and see if it holds up. Yeah, mounts both ways. Okay, that's pretty cool though. I don't know if you guys noticed, but it's got these right there. I wonder how the backup iron sights sit. I mean, they're definitely not going to work with what I'm running now because they're much taller, as these are, I think they are suppressor height sights. Which I don't think you need suppressor height sights if you're running a red dot with the low deck height. But that's pretty cool that CNH thought about that. I think you might be okay with just running the stock iron sights that the Walther comes with. Too bad I don't have them on anymore. They are much lower than these that I have on here now. But as you can tell, these are too high anyways. I don't need them that high. They do sell some that are a little bit lower, and I think, is it Night Vision? I forget the name of the company who makes them, but I will be swapping them out for those probably because these did sit a little too high for me. But that's pretty cool actually. Maybe if I can find the stock sights, I'll swap them out and see how they sit. But I think they may have made this to sit flush with stock lower sights, because although this is a plate system, it's not like for example the Springfield's plate system where it sits flush with the cut and then your optic sits much higher. It still is cut and down into the slide, so it's gonna take away a few millimeters as far as being able to give you some room for the dot to go down deeper into the cut. So therefore, you don't need too much of a higher sight, especially if you're going with the RMSC cut. I notice a lot of their dots have a lower deck height. Now, if you're going with the Delta Point Pro, they have massive deck heights. One of them being the Vortex CCW ST, which I have. I was going to plant that on here, but I think in that case, these would probably be enough or sufficient. Maybe even too low for the ST because it is pretty tall. Now, if you go with the actual Delta Point Pro, what is it, Leupold? Man, that thing is crazy high. That has a really high deck height. That would definitely probably even taller heights, which they do sell. This is the XL on the AmeriGlow. They sell a 2XL and I think even up to a 7XL, which is extremely high. Then you can look at the measurements on that if you go to the website. I think if you run an RMR, these would have been perfect for RMR. I think the deck height is definitely higher than this, especially like on a Holosun 507C. I think these would be perfect sights for that. It'll still give you, well, let me take it back. It may or may not be perfect. It all depends on whether you want to lower 1/3 or absolute coat wetness. You may have to go higher or lower, just depending on what you are trying to achieve. But yeah, I mean, this is the dot. But anyways, in case you were curious, I don't think these hold up its value as far as resale. I was curious if people were actually selling these, or if there was a market for these, if people were buying these. And it sounds like there isn't much of a market for these. It sounds like the very far few are buying these. The people who are, they buy them. I don't know if it's because it's cheaper than an Acro. And to be honest, I don't even know how much Acro is going for, because I think this is $325. Oh yeah, and by the way, that's the rebate details. So you can see here, they claim to the dot to be $325 value. It's a closed emitter, 10 levels of brightness, shake awake, auto off after 5 minutes. Yeah, it's still on. I should have probably tested that. 50,000 hour battery life. CSC machine, one-piece body, and yeah, it is the Acro footprint. I don't know why I thought it was a multi-reticle system. I guess it's not. But let me go to their website, and that's what it looks like, in case you're curious what it looks like, because I'm probably not going to be mounting mine. By the way, you have until, if you purchased it, your Walther, from, if you bought it between November 1st, 2025 and December 31st, 2025, you qualify, and then you have until the 15th of January to redeem it. I think this is while supplies last. I don't know many people buying PDPs right now other than California people or us, just because I think this firearm has been around for a few years in other states already. So I think the only customers or new market for this would be California. I'm just going on C&H to confirm whether or not this is actually a $325 optic. So I guess there's two. There's an Acro XL footprint, Duty XL, and a Duty. I think this is just the Duty based on this down here. Oh, they do have a multi-reticle system, see, and they have a green one. Yeah, I guess the green one is 325. I mean, even on their website, it's 3.5 stars, or yeah, I guess 3 3/4 if you want to be specific. I guess it's a, oh, okay, so it's a 3 MOA dot. If you get the multi-reticle system, it's a 30 MOA circle, donut to death, you can call it, and then a 3 MOA dot, and I'm assuming this is going to be 3 MOA. Let me see this one. I don't think it's the XL though. 104804. I don't have a SKU anywhere. I mean, regardless, looks like the specs are the same. The only difference is maybe the size, because it says XL. I didn't quite look at the measurements. However, it is still an Acro footprint. It is still 50,000 hours of battery life, 10 levels of brightness, okay, so level 1 and 2 are night vision compatible. It is still shake awake, auto off after 5 minutes, and it's waterproof, IPX7, so 1 meter for 30 minutes. So regardless if it's going to be the Duty or the Duty XL, it seems like the specs are about the same. By the way, in case you're curious, 1 meter is a little over 3 feet. So you can submerge this in 3 feet of water for about 30 minutes, and it should be okay. I'll make an updated video on whether this was fine on a shotgun. I think we'll put this on the Mossberg 590. See how it holds up. I mean, it's a nice little dot. It looks nice. Feels nice. Got a nice weight to it. Made in China. Not sure if you can tell. I thought C&H was made in the US. Maybe just their plates. I swear they were made in the US. I mean, this plate feels really nice. It's got a nice weight to it. It feels really sturdy. And that was the case with the one I bought from Optics Planet from C&H. It felt really nice. And they included all the screws, everything. And it fit perfectly with the O-side C. Alright guys, but that's the video in case you guys were curious what's included. There it is. You guys can put in your requests. You got about 10 days from when I recorded this video to put in your request. Again, put it in 22nd. They replied on the 26th, so it took them 4 days. And then from there, it took them 9 days to get it to me. So that's with holidays in between. So we had Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day. So you might get it even sooner if you put in your request instead of total of, what is it, 14, 13 days? Maybe you'll get it in 10 days, assuming they still have some, which I think they will. There's not a big market for these. I think the only people who are really buying Walthers right now are going to be the California market, which is probably why they even have this promotion going on. And to be honest, Walther, not C&H, but Walther, took forever to get these to California. And they're not even available anywhere and everywhere. It seems like they're bringing them out in packages. Like they'll get like a few and then they'll sell them. And then you're back on the wait list. I think these were supposed to come out back in June, maybe August. Somewhere around there, because I remember I had put a deposit and I was excited to get it, and then the day came and they pushed it. I think they said June, then they pushed it to July, then they pushed it to August for sure, quote unquote for sure. Then they said September, they didn't come, and then I think in October they got like a few, but obviously there was already a wait list. And I just happened to go in there and I was like, hey, you guys have any Walthers? He's like, you know what, I think I have one. So sure enough he did, and I just jumped on it. All right guys, this video is taking too long, but there it is, in case you're wondering what the dot is, how it looks. It's pretty cool. As long as it holds up, then I think it's awesome. If you try to resell these, I did see them online on eBay for like around 150, 170. Not a lot of people were buying them. I feel like a lot of people who are getting them because of the promotion are just not keeping them. They're selling them because of the track record. I just don't think there's a big market for them to resell close to retail. Nonetheless, if it works, awesome. If it doesn't, you didn't pay for it. It was free, so not much you can do there. So guys, thanks for your time. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys like the content, like, subscribe, and then I will bring out more content. I actually have an update on the XD I made a video on a few months ago. I completely changed it. Maybe I'm gonna update that video, show you guys how that turned out, because that turned out pretty sweet for a gun that's well over 10 years old, if I'm not mistaken. All right guys, thank you, have a good one.